What's up, guys? Kimus here from Meanwhile in the Man Cave. We take a look at all things pop culture, games, toys, or anything we think is cool. And today, we are taking a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse rendition of the Action Comics #1, Superman. This is the basically the 85th anniversary version of this. And I'll be curious to see whether this quote-unquote collector's edition is worth the extra money. Superman was first published on April 18th of 1938 in Action Comics #1 and was created by Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. Before his appearance in Action Comics #1, Superman was conceived as a supervillain who was created by a mad scientist, a homeless guy that had taken an experimental drug and was given superpowers. In his illustration, he's actually bald and has a kind of a strange resemblance to the future Lex Luthor. It wasn't until years later and a lot of rejections that the final concept of Superman came to be. The creators had stated that they were influenced by Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter of Mars, Popeye, Philip Wiley's 1930 novel Gladiator, and characters like Zorro and Robin Hood. So let's take a look at the box to start out here. A little bit different from the normal fare of McFarlane figures here. All in black, with kind of a metallic lettering on the side with the collector's edition. Down here we've got the 85 years of Superman. On the side, numbered. I don't know if that's because this is the first of the collector's edition. Not really sure there. Maybe he's going to have them all numbered. And a recreation of the comic book cover of Action Comics #1. And just a repeat on the side here. So, let's free Clark Kent from this dastardly cardboard box. Alright, starting off looking at the box. Got the normal rendition of the different comic covers in the back. But we have two figure stands. We have a normal kind of a standing figure stand, and they give us the flight stand as well, which is all clear. So that's kind of nice. All right, a quick preview of what you're going to get inside here. You've got on the left here a stand that holds the reproduction of the comic cover, and the figure itself comes with some chains. All right, you got the collector's card holder here. Holds the reproduction of the Action Comics #1 cover. Has a description of Superman's first appearance on the back and his impact on the comic industry. And the stand itself, not particularly overwhelming. Pretty light plastic, not much to it. Don't know if this would warrant the extra money charged for a collector's edition figure, but it does come with an extra stand in there that the normal ones don't, which that's kind of nice. But, you know, now you're at the same price point as a Marvel Select, and to me you're probably not getting as much as you get with a Marvel Select figure. And you got the chains that he comes with from that iconic scene in the comic book of Action Comics #1. And here he is, the Man of Steel himself. Gotta say, I like the look. Has that classic Superman feel to it. And the head sculpt, very nice. Especially considering some of McFarlane's Superman head sculpts have been just horrendous. Like, I'm pretty lenient with, what I like on these things, but my gosh, some of these Superman heads have been horrible. And the Superboy heads too, just like god awful. But this one here is really good. Has that classic Superman look. Love it. Probably one of my favorites that he's released for head sculpt on here. The body, I believe, is probably recycled from another Superman figure. He's done so many of them. Like the cape blowing in the wind. Again, for the price point, it would have been nice if they'd made it somewhat flexible and put a wire in there. But, just a minor thing. I will say, though, this plastic, just, I thought maybe in the collector's edition it might be a different type of plastic. I don't know. The plastic that makes up these figures seems pretty flimsy. So if any of these, joints are a little stiff, it almost feels like they would crack fairly easy. So just be cautious when you're articulating. So let's start off with that articulation. We're going to start off with the head. You got your normal left and right motion here. You got some tilting, I believe, which is nice. Forward quite a bit. Again, not a lot back, and you'd really want Superman in a flying position, and it's my same complaint with a lot of figures. Wish they'd come up with a way that you could really articulate that head back, especially on a flying character. So here at his arm is his shoulders. You get your lateral movement there. Between the shoulder and the bicep, you have that joint there, which I love. It just adds a lot to a figure to me. You've got a double elbow joint here. That other joint moves a little stiff, I will say, but it is there. Down here at the wrist, you have a hinge joint, back and forth. Twist it as well. Just make sure the hinge is lined up. At his abdomen, you've got your twisting, obviously. Okay, pretty easy there. Not a whole lot in the crunch department. Some of the other figures crunch a little more than he does. He's got a little bit of a crunch motion, just not a whole lot. Does have a waist joint. It's actually hard to move. It is there. There you go. You just got to really kind of trying to isolate that joint when you go to move it. Otherwise, it just moves his abdomen joint. At the legs, get your lateral movement. All right, you've got your knee joint. Okay. Again, no other, swivel up here or anything, which is unfortunate. I like it when they add a swivel to that thigh or even down here somewhere. Moving here down to his foot. Forward. Back. Get your toe joint. Goes to an extreme motion here. I don't think you need it to go back that far, but it does go that far back. You could twist that foot a bit down here as well. It is a hinge joint though, so make sure that's lined up when you try to position that foot. Let's try to get this guy into some poses here, and I'm going to tell you what my final thoughts are. One thing that originally bothered me when I first looked at this character was the fact that his feet were blue, because on the cover he actually has the red boots. But if you read the original Action Comics #1, you'll see that he actually does have, the art does portray his boots as being blue. So, that was kind of a, kind of a relief when I looked back and saw that. Because I was going to say that's kind of obnoxious that they didn't line those up, but it was accurate to the inside of the comic. So, had to have him in the classic breaking the chains look here. did like that you could do that pretty accurately. I was satisfied with the poses I was able to get this character in. The only one I wish I could get him in is more of a flying pose, but that's with the neck being limited. There's only certain types of flight poses you can kind of really do to have him look good. But other than that, with this particular character, I felt the articulation fit it pretty well. I found poses that would fit my needs for this type of for this particular character. So I was happy with that. Downsides, again, the material it's made out of, the fact that, do I really think it's worth a collector's edition price that they're charging for it? Probably not. But this is definitely one of my favorite head sculpts for a McFarlane Superman. So that I'm very happy with. And I got to say that overall, I am very happy with this figure. I just wish he would use this head sculpt on some of his other Superman figures, or at least offer us the chance to buy this head sculpt by itself without having to buy the entire figure. All right, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and please come back every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for a new episode of Meanwhile in the Man Cave. I'll talk to you guys later.